What's up, YouTube? Stocks by the numbers. Wanted to look at another company today that I remember was on the Wall Street Bets forum that a lot of people used to play. It went from nothing all the way up to 19, 20, $21. Made a lot of people some money and then seriously pulled back, so maybe some of you were in it. Name of the company, Microvision Inc. Ticker symbol MVIS, listed here on the NASDAQ. Electronic tech company, semiconductor stock right now, $2.11, up about 2.2% here on the day. We have a market cap 370 million. If we come down here, we look at the earnings. They've been slowly slipping. However, technically, they lost a little less than analysts were estimating for the last 2 quarters, so I guess that's a good sign. If you look over here quarterly, the company was doing a couple of $100,000 in revenue several quarters ago, slowly declined, and now it's nothing. If we look annually, the company was making tens of millions going into the pandemic, a couple of million, and then coming out completely fell off and shit the bed. So basically, we're looking at a company right now that is bleeding. Laser beam scanning technology. Talks about optics, hardware, algorithms, advanced driver assisted systems, right? So this is a company, I'd almost like that SoundHound that we looked at, SoundHound AI, where they're starting to use their software and technology in automobiles now and whatnot, but they have bigger and better plans for the AI sector. And that's why something like this, it definitely could turn out to be extremely valuable and extremely efficient in the future. But as of right now, to see a company tens of millions in revenue to literally nothing, if we check out, got some cars going by. If we check out our history here, you can see, German company stepping in certain assets from their automotive systems, spending almost 16 million around for that. So only knows what's in store for this company, but there's a 1-year chart, and I just wanted to pull out, right, because I wanted to show you guys some stuff. So yeah, this is basically like pandemic. So this is what happened, right? The stock was 68, 70 cents a share. They cratered it to 15 cents and then exploded it to almost $30. Okay, so obviously anyone on Wall Street Bets that was involved with this one loves this stock because I'm sure they made 1,000% or whatever the hell. But also at the end of the day, they shouldn't have, and they probably sucked a lot of people in at $10, $12, $18 a share who are now stuck in it, seeing decline 70, 80%, wondering what the heck is going on. If we come back here, you can see the company was still doing, misses, sporadic, but they were still doing business, actually. Well, before this happened, they were doing a couple of million, and then boom, they're down to several 100,000. And we do have some beats, we do have some misses, but for the revenue to seriously pull back, see that there? They beat estimates of 700,000 on almost 750,000. And then the next quarter, they were like, okay, so next quarter should be 900,000. And boom, revenue didn't move, 700,000. And then it declined again, even though they're coming in above estimates. Yeah, you see what I mean? Anytime they bump up estimates to, more than just a couple of 100,000, the company seemed to be struggling, at least over the last year or two. But basically, we have a company that's losing 32 cents a share, and you're telling me they're worth, 370 million when they're not doing any money. If they were still doing, even 5-10 million a quarter, you can say 40-50 million for the year. Okay, they're trading, 8 times total revenue, which might be a little high, but hey, at least they're doing business. But basically, we have a company that right now is bleeding, and the plans, the future of the company just look uncertain to me. And drawing our trend lines here, amateurishly, of course, if we go from the bottom of pandemic level, basically to where we are now, here was the top it hit, and then I, pulled it down, according to that candle, really, but we can pull it for, wow, where'd this line go? We can pull it for, yeah, that line was too long, it was throwing me off. But even if we pull it down to there, and cut through that candle, really not going to make any difference, right? As we see, of course, we have a triangle, which, as you see on a lot of stocks, actually. But here's our bottom trend line, and this is basically year to date, as you see on the bottom there, January of 2022. Oh, no. I keep forgetting what year it is. So This is from the beginning of last year, as you see, drawing the bottom of the trend lines here. So it's tightening in this range and could either pop up or pop down. Obviously, based on the financials, in my opinion, you know I'm going to say it should technically pop down. And if it breaks this trend line here, again, this is from the bottom. So you have to keep an eye on this level right here in the low twos to see if it breaks. The next fib is going to be $1.80, $1.81, excuse me. And this fib right here, $1.57. And I drew this line here too, because if we zoom in and just scroll back a little bit, okay, so the stock's there at 2, but you can see the next level, you know, that there is a little bit of support and resistance right around here. It looks like 206, 207 maybe, but again, chances are based on the financials, it's going to break through and continue downward. But you can see the way it bounced off this support level looks like about $1.52 where I drew this line. Look at all of the action, all of the resistance and support that has been built around this $1.52 level, even going back here. So that in my opinion is the next place that the stock is going to go. So it's probably going to have a pullback in my eyes. It's going to pull back to about $1.50, potentially even back to this fib level of $1.13. Because again, the company was doing millions of dollars. Now they're not doing any business at all. So, you know, if you want to take this market cap from 370 million down to 70 million, it could potentially be justified. And again, this massive run-up, in the beginning, I will give it, the company was making a couple of million in revenue. There might have been high short interest, so I understand the appeal that may have come from Wall Street Bets. But overall, talking about an investment here, remember, while this company was making millions, they were 70 cents. And then post-pandemic, 15 cents to almost $30. So that's why if they pull this company back to sub $1, it is 110% justified. And, I know you guys may be in it. You may have read it on the forums and got sucked in. I will apologize and say I'm sorry, even though, of course, it wasn't my recommendation. It wasn't my fault. But, just keep an eye on these lines here in the short term here if you are a shareholder and you are down on the position. Because if it does break, it can potentially start to get ugly quickly. And if you wanted to start to limit your losses, if it does break the trend line and doesn't immediately, regain back into this tight range and breaks $2, then, it's understandable if you want to just liquidate the position and take your loss and move on. But, whatever you do with your money is entirely your own prerogative. I always say that. We have, I was over here. But, I didn't want to go to stock twits. How about we go to stock charts? And if we go to Microvision. So, as you see, not much really going on here. The MACD was about to cross up and then pulled back because it has no strength. There are no positive catalysts to really put this higher. Even with the low RSI, again, as you can see here, it was below 30 for a while at several points. So seeing an RSI 38, 32 isn't really an indicator that this is a buy right here. This moving average 255, I really don't think it's going to reclaim that anytime soon. Even coming here, looking at the weekly, this is what happens when you pump a stock up too much too quick. Right? So again, the stock went from 75 cents to $28. So now what happens is all of these moving averages exploded. Look at the 50-day was as high as, what is that, $12, $13. Now it's down at a couple of dollars. So that's what I mean. You throw some of these technicals out of whack here. And this, almost $5 200-day moving average, definitely not going to reclaim that in my eyes anytime soon. Unless they sign some massive deal or, someone steps in and buys the company out for some of their IP that they have in the pipeline. But I don't know. I'm really not seeing it. 50-day moving average, 347, right? That ain't happening. Your best case scenario is that it'll start to rise up and test one of those trend lines we drew out. And then as it's about to break, you have big volume coming in. That might help pump it up to, maybe a mid-Bollinger Band, of a 265 here, which I believe was the moving average. Yeah, see, coming back here on the daily, the 50-day 255. Again, I really don't see that happening anytime soon, but anything could happen. So you could have that potential run up there, but according to the numbers, it could definitely drop 50+% from where it is now, go back to low $1, or again, even 80, 90 cents. And, it may sound rough, again, if you got involved or if you really like the stock and you think it's going higher, but again, the business is not there. So technically, the company really isn't worth much, except for some things they might be holding, some IP, which of course stands for intellectual property, which is patents and whatnot. So, it sounds like they have a lot of cool things on the back burner. The problem is it seems like nobody needs them right now or wants them right now. So, doing literally no business, and of course you have to pay to keep your lights on, your doors open, and apparently they just spent 15.8 million, some German automotive company. So we have to see what's going on here. But again, we have some tightening. It could break through this trend line. Next earnings in May. Based on history, the last couple of quarters, I really don't know if anything's going to happen, but that is right around the apex, so they could keep it in this tight range. But chances are they will most likely come in with, a flat quarter and begin to break down. So that's just my 2 cents on Microvision. If there's something going on that I don't know about with the stock, please let me know down in the comments section. Always keep an open mind. Always happy to hear information that I was not aware of. But, overall, again, just the numbers aren't there. The numbers aren't there. If they do turn it around, and all of a sudden they're doing a couple of million a quarter again, then we can come back to it and say, okay, the company's bringing in some revenue. They beat up the stock. It's down at $1.48. Now we can step in. It's a decent deal. Let's wait for a pop back up to $2.50, $3. So again, over the years from now, it could potentially work out with some of the stuff that they have. But as of right now, I am not a buyer. And if you're involved, stay sharp and be careful. But I'm going to end it there. So once again, this is Stocks by the Numbers. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it down in the comments section. Very quick to reply. If you like the video, thumbs up, helps out the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like. Means a lot to me. Moving forward, I wish everyone success. Hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. See you in the next video.